Scott, thank you for joining us. Obviously, frustration here today at the Broadfield Stadium. Can I get your reflection on the game first?
I think that when you gift an opposition certainly 2 goals, if not 3, then you're never going to win a game of football. Very simple. Certainly at this level of football, you're not going to win a game. The first goal is a punt down the pitch. We don't defend the first action. Chilvers runs off one of our players. They retain the ball in the bottom left-hand corner. They cross the ball, and the player who scores is there for a tap-in unmarked. I talk about marking in the box religiously, not marked. Second goal is just a really poor goal to give away and I think the professionalism of the group needs to be questioned, because we've then just got it back to 1-1, and then we're just, I don't know what we're doing. I just don't know what we're doing, and we just gift them a goal. And then we talk about professionalism at half time, talk about doing the right things at the right moment, and then 1 minute into the second half we gift them another goal, just a complete gift. And if we're going to do that at this stage of the season, then we're not going to get to where we need to get to. I think looking at the results, everybody's lost in the playoffs, so God knows how we're still in there, but we are. And I think on reflection of that, it's kind of a nervy end of the season for teams that are in there, and we're certainly showing signs of that. So my job is now to make sure that we've got no nerves moving forward, and we just go and play our football and try and win games of football. But we can't be making mistakes like that. It's impossible. It's impossible to win a game of football gifting goals. You're just not going to do it.
Yeah, we spoke about before the game, didn't we, about how teams in Colchester's position, we were in there last season, they can become the hardest ones to play, but at the end of the day, today we were sort of our own worst enemy, weren't we?
No, for sure. Did they outrun us? No. Did they outplay us? No. Listen, they defended their box really well. I'll give them that. They defended their box really well. But we've given that impetus to do that. We've gifted them goals. And we've shot ourselves in the foot today. If there ever was an example of shooting yourself in the foot, that was it. Watch that game today. So really disappointing.
You've obviously only had a couple of minutes with the lads after the game. Is there anything that you sort of got from them that might be a reason for shooting ourselves in the foot, as you say? Is there anything that you think maybe we underestimated or didn't do right today in particular?
No, we'd never underestimate an opposition. We'd never do that. The players would never do that. I wouldn't allow that. We'd never underestimate any opposition. I just think that for certainly two moments, the second goal and the third goal, we're just unprofessional not to kind of concentrate on our job properly. And you can't switch off for 1 second, at this level of football. You just can't, and you've got to make sure you do the right things always. It's like we get a free kick just before half time. We're losing the game 2-1, right? And we get a free kick, and there's 30 seconds left to play, and we play a ball down the side. I'm like, what's that? Why have we become unprofessional all of a sudden? Just do the right thing at the right moment in the game, and we just don't manage the game properly.
Seems like there's sort of, as you say, those moments that lost us the game, so they're not necessarily, things that we have to spend weeks on to fix. It is just sort of key moments in that game. Does that make it slightly easier as we prepare for a big game on Tuesday?
The side played well enough. The side played well enough today. They just need to be more professional to see a game through. You can't gift goals like that. You just cannot gift goals like that and expect to win a game of football. It's part of your job is to make sure you concentrate throughout the whole 95, 96, whatever it was, 97 minutes. You've got to concentrate. And, certain individuals didn't concentrate in them moments and become sloppy. And I've got to make sure that I'll put that right.
Yeah, how do you go about that over the next few days? We've obviously got a big game against Barrow coming up on Tuesday. There's not a lot of time to prepare. Is it a case of wiping the slate clean with this game, or is there some proper sort of work that needs to go in to sort of fix the mistakes made today?
There's not lots wrong with our play. We we just can't make mistakes that way, you know, and that's it. And I certainly think it's an unprofessionalism. I think that players are not focused properly. I think that they quite easily become sloppy. They quite easily become loose with their decision making, and it's down to me to drive standards all the time and to keep players on their toes. You know, that's my job, and I'll make sure I do that.
Yeah, another big crowd here today. We're hoping that lots will be back on Tuesday because, you know, 3 big games to go, and as you said, other teams around us lost, so it is still all to play for. It's still in our hands, and you know we're going to need them, you know, all the way till the end of the season now. Big 3 games ahead.
Yeah, of course. The fans are good, and I'm really sad that we've not given them anything to cheer about. Although I do feel that they probably saw a side really going for it, but we're going for it and playing out of control football because we've gifted them goals. We can't play out of control football and trying to chase a deficit back because we've just gifted them goals. We can't do that. And it's not fair. It's not fair on the fans. And it's not fair on our season because we've done fantastically well to get where we've got to. And for us to now, you know, melt under a bit of pressure, come on, we're better than that. I know them boys in there. I know that they're better than that. But yeah, it's down to me now to drive them standards now. And make sure that we're right and ready to go and give the fans something to really enjoy. You know, wouldn't it be great if we get to the 27th of April and we've still got weeks left of the season because we're in that playoff position, and that's what I want. And today, you know, we fell short.
Thanks, Scott.
Hi, Scott. Confidence must take a knock with a couple of mistakes like today. Are you sure that everyone can get their heads back up for a big game on Tuesday?
Confidence can take a knock through mistakes. Nah, not in professional sport it doesn't. Not in professional sport it doesn't. Unless you allow it, unless you're weak, it might. But my players are not weak, so no, it won't affect us.
Cheers, Scott.
Andy?
Just a quick one, Scott. Obviously, it's not just yourselves. You pointed out earlier other clubs feeling it too. You know, so it's just could be an end of season situation that other clubs like yourselves are feeling in these big games, and results that mistakes could come easier because of that, the stakes being higher.
Yeah, but we can only concentrate on us and forget what others do around us. You know, we just got to concentrate on us, and we're over the last 2 games we've let it slide a little bit, whereas I don't think we needed to. I think if we'd have concentrated on Tuesday night against Wrexham and had full focus on today's game, full focus, what I mean by full focus, I mean for 97 minutes, you are nailed on your job and you know what you're doing, you know where the spaces are, you know where the people are, you know when there's pressure, you know when you've got to boot it out the ground because there's pressure, you know when you've got to come and claim for a ball. If you do all them things right, we're obviously in a fantastic position, or we would be in a better position than we are now. Whatever teams do around us, they do around us. We can't affect that. We just got to make sure we do our job properly. I think we're lucky, and I've said this before, I think we've been lucky. Every time we seem to have lost, everybody else seems to lose. And we've been lucky. And that luck's going to run out, right? That luck is going to run out. And we've got to make sure that we don't rely on luck, we rely on us. Yeah, that's it.
Dion, thank you for joining us. Obviously a tough one to take here this afternoon at home to Colchester. Can I get your overall reflection on the game first?
Yeah, we just wasn't good enough today. Simple. Obviously the goals really are our own mistakes from individuals, things that you can't really prevent as a team. It's just one of those things that happen. But yeah, very frustrating day. Obviously coming into the game thinking it would be a big 3 points, and we kind of knew what we had to do, and we just wasn't good enough today as a whole team. So we got to brush ourselves off, forget about the game, and we move on to Tuesday. We're lucky I think the other results went our way. So we're lucky in that sense, but we've put ourselves in this position. We've won previous games where we've been playing very well. Obviously, the Wrexham game, I thought we played well, and they scored some good goals, but we now go to the game on Tuesday, and we know it's a must-win, and then it takes us to the next game. So we got to treat these last 3 games like finals, and it's still in our hands.
Yeah, we spoke to the gaffer before the game, and we said about how we were in a very similar position to Colchester last year. Obviously, you were with us at that point as well, and we said that these games can often be the hardest because we know how much 3 points would mean to us. Obviously, Colchester, were resilient today, but as the gaffer said afterwards, it wasn't necessarily all of their credit. We sort of have to take some responsibility for our actions. So I suppose it makes it even more tougher in that sense.
Yeah, but we were our own enemies today. It wasn't good enough in certain instances of the game. And yeah, it just wasn't a good performance today. You can kind of pick things apart and see what wasn't good and what was good, because there was some good things, but at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. But like I said, the results went our way with the teams around us. So we've been blessed, and hopefully now we can take that onto Tuesday and have a good performance and kind of seal the position that we want to get to.
Yeah, as a group, do you have to sort of look at this game and sort of just put a clean sort of slate under it and look ahead to these next 3 games? I know after some defeats, perhaps maybe more earlier on this season, you'd look to sort of break it down properly and go, right, this is what we need to improve on. We've got this many weeks to sort of get ourselves back on track, but we obviously don't have that much time. So is it a case of just literally just forgetting about it and moving on?
Yeah, obviously you've heard the gaffer say it a lot. He's very into good performances. And we always want to play well and do everything. And at the start of the season, you can kind of accept the fact if we play very well and lose. But at this point of the season, we know what we got to do to win. So for me, I would take 3 awful performances and we win every single game, and that gets us in. So we got to be winners now, and we got to really push on, and we got to stick together as a team. And we're going to need the fans for the next 3 games, and we just got to give it everything we got for the last 3.
Yeah, it's the cliche, isn't it? But it's 3 cup finals effectively to go for us. Obviously, we know how people would write us off before the start of the season. We're not focusing on that at the moment. We're focusing on ourselves. But this team deserves it, doesn't they, over these next 3? And we're hopeful that with 3 good performances, we'll be in where we deserve to be, because it's been a really good season and there's still a lot to look forward to. Yeah, the players, the coaching staff, everyone behind the scenes, we've all been working as hard as we have from the start of the season. So we haven't got to this position just because of luck. Everyone's worked extremely, extremely hard. So we deserve to be in the spot that we're in, and we've got to make the most of it now. Like I said, the results went away, so it's in our hands to do what we've got to do on Tuesday. And yeah, every game is a cup final, so we have to go into that with that mentality that this is a must-win game. Thank you, Dion.
Hi, Dion. You mentioned that results went your way today. Do you find yourself looking at other teams' results, or do you focus on your own?
We have to focus on our own, but when results like this happen, of course you're going to see what the other teams do, because we got to see if we're still in the top 7 in the playoffs. So, but luckily, the results did go away, and we're still in that 7th spot. And we've got I think we have the game in hand. But it doesn't matter what they do, even if we got to think that they're going to win every game, teams around us now. So we know what we got to do. We got to win Tuesday, Saturday. So it's as simple as that. We just have to work hard now and get ready for Tuesday.
Yeah, there was a big attendance today. Do you have any messages for the fans?
The fans were incredible. Their support's going to be needed more now than ever. 3 the biggest games of the season by a mile, and they've been great all season. So we're going to need them even more now on definitely Tuesday. And then obviously the last game of the season. Hopefully we have it wrapped up by then. But you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, the support will be hopefully can be really positive for us.
Perfect. Thanks very much.